Hello, my beautiful Aries. This is going to be your March energy reading. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want you to please only take the messages that resonate with you, Aries, and leave the rest out. And let's go ahead and see what the cards have to show you. So we have here King of Cups that's popping up for you. Your block here is the Fool. And you have here the Nine of Swords. Interesting. So Aries, what I'm seeing here is that Spirit wants you to be in control of your emotions. It's really important for you to practice emotional discernment, emotional intelligence, balance, control your impulses. Do not overindulge. This is a very important matter for you because what I see here as was opposing you or was blocking you is the Fool. And that can mean two things. It can mean that you're not taking action because you're overthinking something, right? Or it can mean that you are being too impulsive and you don't have the correct strategy to move forward with something right now. Regardless, there's this energy of either taking a leap too soon or being afraid of taking a leap of faith. And the solution for this is for you to be in the energy of the King of Cups. This is emotional discernment. This is acknowledging your emotions, your fears, your stresses, your restrictions, but not allowing them to essentially manipulate you or control you. So this is very important. We have matters, emotional matters and emotional matters that basically are targeting your mindset because you have here this Nine of Swords showing up in the outcome. And the Nine of Swords can show a very stressful energy. It could be that there's something that's making you lose sleep at night. It could be that you're not allowing yourself to put the swords down so you could take a step back to maybe look at the situation from a different perspective. Meaning that there's something here that's putting you in high pressure. And Spirit is saying emotional discernment. So what does that mean? It means that at times, we have to take a step back before moving forward. At times, we have to sit down and understand why our emotions are popping up this way. What do they really mean? What are they trying to tell us? Meaning, don't go against the current when it comes to your emotions. Embrace them, understand them, sit with them. Don't ignore them because they're trying to tell you something, okay? What is the advice for Aries? Aries, your advice, Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is a card of conflict, Aries. It's no secret that it can indicate that there's differences of opinions. There's too many, voices, too many opinions that basically are clashing with yours. This can even feel like you're not being heard, like you're drowning in this situation, right? But the good thing about the Five of Wands is that they are fighting with wands, not with swords, right? So meaning that this is all about understanding that the severity of the situation is potentially not as bad as we think it is. Maybe we get our feelings hurt. Maybe we feel disrespected. Maybe we feel like we're not being recognized or heard. But regardless, this energy is an energy that you can disengage. You can essentially walk away. You don't have to be seen or validated by others. It's important for you to see and validate yourself, King of Cups, okay? So this is all about asserting yourself emotionally and mentally so you don't let the outside world and the noise of the outside world put you in this Nine of Swords, right? So this could be like a work situation for some of you guys. For others, this could be family or even in a love situation. But there is this sense of who is your safe zone. If you don't have that safe zone, it's because you're not recognizing that the safe zone is you, right? You are your own protector. You can essentially put these boundaries and say, even within yourself, you can put boundaries and say, I'm not going to allow this emotion to dictate how I'm going to behave, how I'm going to act, how I'm going to present myself, right? I'm going to rise above the occasion. Sorry, a lot of them came out. Now, give me a little bit more on this block, Spirit. Why is the block here? Okay, so look at that, Aries. So Spirit is saying, right, you have here this energy of the new beginning, with the Ace of Wands, Magician. This means taking action, trusting in your skill set, being very articulated. This is about being organized, about doing the research, right? Very much Mercury energy, right? So this is about how are we processing our information? We have an idea. Now we have to process that information. We have to actually ground that idea. We have to materialize that idea. So meaning, if you are doubtful, let's say this Fool energy that we're clarifying, which is, do I move forward or do I not? Am I moving out of impulse or am I not? Spirit is saying, if you feel that way, then you have to really go within, do the research necessary, take the proper steps. The Magician is all about taking action. Sometimes the action is not as dramatic as what we think. Sometimes the action involves us doing research, us really understanding what are we getting ourselves into. If there's contracts, maybe some of you guys are dealing with contracts. The Magician showing up really symbolizes the Mercury retrograde that's coming up, okay? There's a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces that's coming up, right? We're right now in the shadow period. I'm not exactly sure of the dates, but in the month of March, we will be in this retrograde, meaning that when it comes to contracts, you want to make sure that you're taking the time to, again, articulate this information, process this information. The problem with the Ace of Wands is that it fades out and it can also be very impulsive and impatient. So this is about committing to the occasion, right? So if you want to change something in your life, understanding that this burst of action or this burst of motivation that you might have about, yes, I want to get out of this, that's great and all, but we have to, we have to ground that idea. We have to materialize the strategy. We have to take the baby steps and the actions, whether that is small or big, it doesn't matter. It's about getting that momentum going and really, articulating ourselves and, again, materializing a strategy that actually makes sense, that is actually tangible, that's actually something that you can commit to long term, right? So I feel like the biggest word for you in this reading is simplify. Simplify, 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 right? So when you're feeling these grand emotions of anger, wrath, disrespect, feeling overlooked, whatever it is, these large emotions that might want to make you engage in this Five of Wands, Spirit is saying, simplify that. Like start basically like undressing the reasons of these emotions and also start to see the outcome of your reactions, like play it out in your mind. So that way you can see, okay, well, if I do act a fool in this particular instance because someone disrespected me, what is that going to get me? Where am I going to go with this, right? So it's very important for you to understand that your energy is very much the catalyst to everything. Meaning, if you invest your energy into things that are not productive, that are just simply to feed your ego or to defend yourself or to validate yourself, again, what is the point of that? You know what I mean? How about you disengage, basically bring back your energy to self and focus on something else that's more productive for you, that's better for you. So this reading is all about your focus, your emotional intelligence, your patience, your grit, and you articulating yourself to the point that you understand, why am I feeling these emotions? So this is a very personal reading, Aries. This is a very internal reading. This is a reading that might not make sense right now, but this reading is all about understanding why am I feeling this, and how much control do I have over my actions when it comes to dealing with difficult emotions, okay? With this Nine of Swords, this is the stressful energy, the outcome that I'm seeing here. This month could feel quite stressful for you. And then we have here very interesting cards here, Aries. So you have the Page of Wands as well as the Three of Pentacles. So this tells me the Page of Wands, this is a very lighthearted energy. This is an energy that is very much present in the moment. This could be someone that you're collaborating with because you have here this Three of Pentacles. This person that you're collaborating with can feel that they're just not grounded enough. Maybe this is the cause of a lot of your stress. Maybe you're dealing with someone that's unreliable. Maybe you're dealing with someone that just doesn't come through with their word. And the problem is, Aries, if you're dealing with a Page of Wands that's doing that, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to change them. They're not going to change. This is just where they're at in their journey. And you have to respect that. And then with the Three of Pentacles, this is about seeing what people bring to the table. You know what I mean? So seeing what people bring to the table, so that way you know how to articulate this experience and how to move with this experience. So in reality, when you're not being faced with someone that's willing to pull their side of the bargain, when you're being faced with someone that's not essentially bringing the responsibility, the attitude that you need in a particular situation, that you rely on other individuals, even though it's frustrating, it's really good to know where you stand. So now you know how to move forward, right? So with this Five of Wands, let's go ahead and get a little bit on this Five of Wands. Okay, so we got quite a few, you guys. So I'm going to kind of read them all because they were very intentional. So you have here the Queen of Pentacles, and there's a lot of Pentacles in your reading with the exception of the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Pentacles, I love that she showed up because she talks about learning how to make ends meet and learning how to essentially get very crafty with the things that you have, meaning avoiding the state of lack by acknowledging that you have so much more than what you think. And you have this Six of Pentacles, which is asking you to bring balance, meaning if you have been helping people out and you're not necessarily getting the respect or anything in return, there's an energetic exchange to everything. It doesn't have to mean that if you give money, you're going to get money back. But if you give money to a friend, I would expect that friend to be a good friend to you, right? To be there for you if you need them, not just financially, but emotionally. To be a support system, right? The way that you support them. So if you're not getting that energetic exchange, then there's something that needs to basically come out of the scale so you can balance it out. Then you have here the Ten of Pentacles, which is showing up in reverse, okay? And I think that's really interesting because the Ten of Pentacles in reverse just shows that there is a foundation here that needs to be reevaluated. And in a sense, this is exactly what the reading is saying, right? Because something is triggering you. Something is trying you, right? Some of you guys might feel like you're being tried, like you're being, played with. And Spirit is saying you need to basically reevaluate. Why is it that you have people in your life or you have a situation in your life that makes you feel disrespected, undermined, undervalued, overlooked? You know what I mean? If you're feeling these emotions of not getting what you deserve, then Spirit is saying then it's time for you to change something about this situation, okay? Queen of Wands showing up, saying you are so valuable, so creative, so intuitive. This is a card that shows that people see you for the valuable person that you are. They see that you have a lot to offer, that you essentially can get a lot by simply being yourself. And some people are going to be really great friends when it comes to that and, support you and elevate you. But other people, we attract bad energy too, unfortunately. Other people are going to try to milk off of you with that, okay? So in a sense, that's why Spirit wants you to really focus on your emotional discernment. So you're able to really make these really important decisions and see the bigger picture from an objective perspective and not from an emotional one, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card just to close out the reading and see what Spirit wants to share with you through this beautiful oracle deck. It's one of my favorites. Let's see. So we have Archangel Haniel, and she says joy, blessings, and intuition. What a beautiful energy. And I am going to go ahead and read you what the guidebook says because it's important, okay? So the guidebook will tell you right now, it says, Haniel, the Archangel of Joy is looking on with utter bliss at chick hatches in the sunlight. This card heralds the coming of wonderful, joyous, and intuitive times for you. This may take the form of many everyday blessings that awaken your happiness and appreciation. Or it could arrive in a significant experience, such as an exciting vacation or celebration. Haniel reminds you that you always have a great capacity to perceive joy throughout your daily life. This bliss approach creates an energetic pipeline to the divine consciousness, which increases the flow of blessings and heightens intuition. Call on Haniel to help you experience unlimited joy. Choose to focus on your happiness, blessings, and you'll experience ever-expanding bliss and intuitive sparks every day. What a beautiful message to close it off. And I also think it really ties together because we just talked about the energy of the King of Cups. That was the main energy in your reading. And I think that alone really tells you, Aries, it's really important for you to prioritize these really difficult themes that you need to essentially balance out, okay? So with much love and light, I hope that this reading did something for you, gave you clarity, guidance in any kind of way. And if it did, Aries, drop me a comment down below. Drop me where you are tuning in from. What is your sun, moon, and rising? And if you want to support my channel, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on your next reading. Bye.